I used to sleep with my blinds open. I liked the way the moonlight spilled across my bedroom wall. It made the room feel alive. That changed last fall. It started on a Sunday night just after daylight savings. I was brushing my teeth when I noticed something outside. Just a figure, standing across the street facing my apartment. I live on the ground floor of a small complex, nothing fancy. My bedroom window faces a narrow street with maybe 5 feet of grass between the sidewalk and the glass. I thought he was just waiting for someone. But he was still there an hour later when I went to bed, just standing, facing me, no phone, no cigarette, just still. I closed the blinds and told myself it was nothing. The next night, same thing. 2:59 a.m., I woke up without reason and peeked through the blinds. He was back, closer this time. Standing on the sidewalk, still, facing me. This time, I got a better look. Tall, maybe 6 feet 2 inches, wearing a hoodie with the hood down. Couldn't see his face, but I felt something in my chest. Something I hadn't felt since I was a kid. I was scared to move. The third night, I decided to catch him on video. I set my phone on the windowsill, screen facing out, camera running. At 3:07 a.m., I woke up again, like my body knew. I crawled to the window and peeked. He was there. This time, standing right in the grass, a few feet from the glass. My breath caught in my throat. I stayed down, didn't even want to blink. In the morning, I checked the footage. It froze at 3:05 a.m., just cut out. Like someone had covered the lens, or turned it off. I brought it to my building's manager. He brushed me off, said it was probably some drunk local or kid pulling a prank. I showed him the freeze frame. He just shrugged. I started sleeping in the living room after that. On the 5th night, I heard tapping. I sat up fast, heart slamming, just as something scraped the glass. Then I heard it. A voice. Low. Calm. You should close these. I didn't move. Didn't speak. I stayed on the couch until morning. I had the windows boarded up the next day, but sometimes I still wake up around 3 a.m. and every now and then, I hear footsteps in the grass. When I first moved into my upstairs unit, the landlord told me the bottom floor was empty. Needs repairs, he said. No one's lived there in over a year. Cool, I liked the quiet. The first weird thing happened my second week in. I was brushing my teeth when I heard a door slam downstairs, loud enough to rattle the mirror. I froze, spit still in my mouth. Then silence. I texted my landlord. He said no one had keys to the bottom unit but him. The next night I heard footsteps. Slow, steady, across the ceiling of the downstairs unit. My floor. Their ceiling. Then a dragging sound, like furniture scraping across tile. I leaned over the railing and looked at the door below. Still padlocked. Next morning, I knocked on the door just to be sure. Nothing. That weekend, I got home late. As I passed my window, I saw something. Just a flicker of movement behind the blinds downstairs. The lights were off, but someone was standing in the dark, maybe a foot from the glass. I called the landlord again. "I'm telling you," he said, "that unit's still empty." "Then who's walking around in there at night?" He didn't answer. Monday night, I put my ear to the floor. That's when I heard it. Whispering. Not words I could understand. Just low voices, 2 or 3 of them muttering right beneath me. I stayed frozen like that for 10 minutes, barely breathing. Then one of the voices stopped and said, clear as day, "He's listening." I backed away fast and didn't sleep that night. I haven't heard the voices since. But last week, I noticed the front door to the bottom unit is still padlocked, and there are fresh boot prints in the dust by the back entrance. I work remotely, just me, a laptop, and a routine. Log in at 8, clock out at 4. Same desk, same coffee mug, same everything. About a month ago, I noticed a file on my desktop called Meeting Notes 2.x. I didn't write it. I opened it up, empty document. Figured it was a misclick or glitch, deleted it. 2 days later, it was back. Different name, recording 04. Still blank. I ran a scan, no viruses, no alerts. Then my boss messaged me. "Hey, weird question. Were you logged in last night?" I wasn't, I said so. He replied, "Someone accessed your profile at 2:13 a.m. I checked the activity log. There it was. Remote login, same IP, same username. Like I'd done it myself. Except I'd been asleep. Next morning, I found a new folder on my desktop called Audio. Inside were 6 short clips. I hit play on the first one. It was me, breathing in my sleep. The next one had faint clicking sounds. Then the sound of a mouse moving, like someone was using my computer. Clip 5 had my voice, but I wasn't saying anything, just mumbling, slow, broken words. And the last one? A whisper. "You should log off now." I shut the laptop and haven't opened it since, and every night at 2:13, the screen glows for exactly 1 minute. At first, I thought she just had good timing. I'd see her at the grocery store, at the gym, waiting in line at the same coffee shop. Always in the background, never talking to me, just there. She was about my age, maybe late 20s. Long black hair, thin, wore the same gray hoodie every time. I figured we just had similar routines. Then I switched routines. I went to the store 2 hours earlier than usual. She was already in aisle 6. I canceled my usual gym session and ran at the park instead. She passed me on the trail, still wearing the gray hoodie, no earbuds, no sweat, just walking in step with me until I turned off the path and pretended to tie my shoe. That night, I didn't sleep well. Around 2 a.m., I checked my apartment door, locked. I turned around, and something on my counter made me stop cold. A receipt from my grocery trip that morning. But it wasn't mine. It listed everything I'd put back before checkout. Stuff I only considered buying. Items I'd picked up, stared at for a second, and shelved again. Then scribbled in pen at the bottom, "You should eat better." I moved the next day. Different city, new apartment, no social media posts, no change of address forms, nothing online that could give me away. 3 weeks later, I joined a co-working space across town. I walked into the shared kitchen to make coffee. She was already there, gray hoodie, back turned, stirring cream into a cup that wasn't hers. She turned around, smiled. "You're early today." I left everything behind and walked straight out the door. Phone, laptop, keys. I checked into a motel and stayed for a week, never going outside before noon. But yesterday, taped to my motel door, was a hand-drawn map of the nearby park. My usual jogging path was highlighted, and under it, "Don't forget your water." I used to work night custodial shifts at a public middle school. It wasn't bad, quiet, predictable. Just me, a mop, and an empty building. The only place I didn't touch was the teacher's lounge. Not because I wasn't allowed, because of the cabinet. It sat against the far wall, tall, metal, padlocked shut. Even the daytime staff didn't seem to use it. Every night I'd wipe down tables, empty the trash, sweep the floors, but I never touched that cabinet. Until the night I found the key. It was just lying there on the lounge table. No tag, old, heavy, and for some reason I knew exactly what it opened. I hesitated, then curiosity got the better of me. The lock clicked open like it had been waiting. Inside? Just a small black tape recorder, like the kind you'd see in the 90s, and a single cassette already inside. No label. I hit play. Static for the first few seconds. Then I heard a voice. Calm. Male. Whispering. They know you're listening. I stopped the tape. My stomach tightened. Then the recording continued, without the tape moving. No spinning, no motor, just a voice. You left the mop in room 112. I dropped the player and ran. Back at my cart, the mop was gone. The next night, I quit. I never told anyone why, but 2 weeks later, the new guy they hired texted me. He said, "Did you leave this cabinet unlocked?" Attached was a photo. The cabinet was open, and inside, there were now 2 tape recorders. It was just sitting there, middle of the living room, tongue out, tail wagging lazily like it belonged, a golden retriever. Problem was, we don't own a dog, and the dog door was locked. I called out to my wife. She came into the room, froze, and whispered, "Whose dog is that?" We checked every door, every window, still locked. No fur on the couch, no claw marks. Just this perfect-looking dog, watching us calmly like we were the guests. No tags, no collar, clean, almost too clean. We gave it some water, but it didn't drink, it didn't bark, it didn't make a sound. Later that night, I checked our camera footage. At 2:36 a.m., the living room feed glitched, just a flicker, and suddenly the dog was there. No entry, no door movement, just one frame without the dog, and the next frame with it sitting in the exact same spot we'd found it. I felt sick. The next morning, it was gone. No trace, no fur, nothing disturbed, just vanished. We thought maybe it was a hallucination, or stress, until last week. We got home from dinner and found muddy paw prints on the kitchen tile, leading from the locked back door to the middle of the living room, same spot. And there, sitting perfectly still, was a new dog, a black lab, just watching, waiting. Mr. Oates lived in the unit across from mine for 9 years, kept to himself. Always wore the same green jacket. Smelled like cigarettes and old newspapers. 2 months ago, he passed away in his sleep. The coroner wheeled him out at 3:12 a.m. I remember the time because I was awake when it happened. I couldn't stop staring at his door after they took him. It felt wrong. Empty. They padlocked the unit the next day. No one came to clean it out. But a week later, I noticed his porch light was on. I figured the landlord forgot to cut the power. I texted him. He responded, "Power's been shut off. No electricity running to that unit." I stood outside the door, staring at the light above it. It flickered once, then went solid again. That night, I woke up to voices in the hallway. I peeked through the peephole and saw no one, but Mr. Oates's TV was on. The screen glowed behind the blinds. Faint blue light. I knocked on the door the next morning. No answer. But I noticed something taped to the glass. Faded yellow paper. It was the electricity bill. Paid in full. Yesterday's date, in handwriting, Mr. Oates's handwriting. I work late. Most nights I'm the last one out of our downtown office. 10 floors, 1 elevator. It was around 11 p.m. when I first saw her, standing in the elevator when I called it up. Slim build, hair covering her face, holding a worn leather bag. I nodded. She didn't move. Just stood there, staring at the wall. I said, "Going down?" She didn't reply. I stepped in. The door shut. We rode in silence to the lobby. I walked out. She stayed. Next night, same thing. Same clothes, same posture. Didn't speak, didn't press a button, just stared at the wall. By the 3rd night, I started feeling sick, stepping into that elevator. Something about her presence, like the air got heavy when she was near. I asked building security if anyone else had reported a woman riding the elevator late at night. The guy blinked at me and said, "You've been the only one using the elevator after 9 p.m. all month." "No, I'm telling you," I said. "She's always there when I leave." He pulled up the footage. Sure enough, I was alone. Every time, even worse. In the footage, I was still talking, facing the corner, smiling. I was at the library, killing time between classes when I saw the notebook. Just a beat-up spiral left on the study table. No name, no cover. Looked like trash, but I opened it anyway. Inside were short notes, messy handwriting. Pages and pages of simple, creepy observations. Gray hoodie, enters library at 1:14 p.m. Uses left earbud only. Eats granola bar, breaks in half first. I froze. That was me. Everything written described my routine from that very day. Down to the granola bar I'd just eaten. I flipped further. There were dates going back weeks. It didn't just describe what I did, it described what I almost did. Hesitates at door, turns around, doesn't go to bathroom. Starts typing a message to someone, deletes it. I felt sick. The final page was written in darker ink, different handwriting. They just found the journal. I slammed it shut and backed away. I looked around the library, a dozen students, no one staring, no one close. But then my phone buzzed, unknown number. One message. Don't forget to put it back. It started as a recurring dream. Always the same house. Old white paint peeling, crooked porch light, broken front steps. I'd walk up to the door, feel something behind it. Something watching me through the keyhole. I'd always wake up before I knocked. At first, I thought it was just stress. I was between jobs, sleeping weird hours, but the dream came back at least once a week, always exactly the same. Then, one weekend, I went on a road trip with my friend Gabe. He was driving, and we took a wrong turn somewhere in rural Washington. We were passing trees and rundown barns when I saw it. The house. I sat bolt upright. Stop the car. What? Gabe asked. Back up, that house right there. He reversed slowly. There it was. Same cracked steps, same porch light, same peeling paint. I got out of the car and stared at it, heart racing. That's the house from my dream, Gabe chuckled. You sure? I walked toward it. Every hair on my body was standing up. I reached the steps. From inside the house, the porch light flicked on. No cars, no lights anywhere else, just that one glow. Gabe shouted, "Dude, get back in the car." Then my phone buzzed, one new message. "You're late.